So I'll give you guys the answer early. Is Jake Paul natural? No. I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement, mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with and I have heard things.
We are here with some shocking news in the world of boxing. Seems like we won't be seeing that hyped up match between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson after all. Why? Well, hold on to your seats because it turns out Jake Paul tested positive for something serious. Rods and steroids. Yeah, you heard it right. And
DMT stuff.
Right.
And I lost that weight, and I said, I don't know what happened. I just don't know what happened. I just said, I'm going to do this.
Well, it's funny because you talked to me on the podcast before, the first time you came on, and you said, I can't even work out.
Yes,
Because if I work out, my ego will get excited.
But I did this toad, and this toad, I said, you got to do it. It said, you have to do it.
The toad told you.
You have to
The
do
DMT
it.
told
Yes,
you time to fight.
You have to do it.
Wow.
I lost the weight.
Mike Tyson was really putting in the work for this showdown with Jake Paul. No kidding. He was super upfront about his whole training game plan, laying it all out there for everyone to see. And let me tell you, it wasn't just about hitting the gym hard. Tyson was going all out, even swearing off the weed and keeping his hands to himself for a solid 2.5 weeks. Now that's some serious dedication right there. There's even this pic floating around of him hanging with Damon Elliott, looking all focused and determined. You could just tell he was in the zone, gearing up for what could have been the fight of the century. 2.5 weeks I haven't smoked, Tyson told the Damon Elliott show. And I haven't had sex for 2.5 weeks. But hey, things don't always go as planned, right? And now with this bombshell news about Jake Paul testing positive for rods and steroids, well, it's safe to say the whole match has gone up in smoke.
Thing is, his body composition has changed so much, his explosiveness, his power, and yes, that comes with training and time. But I find it very, very suspicious that for some reason, whenever a drug test gets brought up, for instance, when Fury wanted that in the contract, Jake Paul turns them down. So around him, great trainers, great coaches, a great regimen, but definitely anabolics play a very fundamental role in that. They allow him to train as hard as he does. They allow him to increase his power and speed. And of course, when you think of those concepts, that's essentially the recipe to win in a combat sport.
Jake Paul's journey in the boxing world has been nothing short of controversial, and this recent revelation has stirred the pot even further. The news that Jake Paul tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs has sent shockwaves through the boxing community. It began when the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association conducted random drug testing on both Jake Paul and his opponent, the legendary Mike Tyson, ahead of their highly anticipated bout. The results of these tests, however, painted a damning picture for Jake Paul. VADA's laboratory reportedly found traces of PEDs in Paul's system, prompting immediate scrutiny and backlash. For a fighter like Jake Paul, who has built his brand on brashness and bravado, the accusations of PED use struck a nerve. In typical fashion, Paul denied the allegations, dismissing them as nothing more than fabricated rumors designed to tarnish his reputation. Those VADA guys are a bunch of clowns, Paul scoffed in a now infamous press conference.
Those little bumps you had on your face kind of alarmed me. You wouldn't be happy to taking PEDs, are you?
Listen, if you want to build in excuses right now,
No, I'm just asking.
go ahead.
Because I was just wondering, I looked at
ahead.
your face, it looked kind of serious. You had some rage and you acting all unorthodox, you know, those are signs of the PEDs.
I'm enraged. I'm not enraged at all.
Are you taking PEDs?
No, sir.
Not at all. Okay.
No, sir.
They couldn't find their way out of a paper bag, let alone analyze drug test results correctly. It's all a bunch of bullshit, I'm clean as a whistle. Paul opened up about his feelings on the matter, expressing his disbelief that the situation had spiraled into such a major issue. This whole thing is ridiculous, Paul fumed in a candid interview. I mean, come on, we're talking about such a tiny amount of this stuff that it's basically like finding a needle in a haystack. It's negligible, insignificant, and it's got no bearing on anything. Paul's frustration was palpable as he continued to vent about what he perceived as unfair treatment at the hands of the boxing establishment. I feel like I'm being treated like some sort of guinea pig, he lamented. They're singling me out and scrutinizing every little detail, all because they want to make an example out of me. It's not right, man. It's just not right. But even in the midst of adversity, Paul remained defiant, refusing to back down or admit defeat. This probably shouldn't have even been brought up, he asserted, his frustration evident in every word. It's such a small amount that it has no effect. But they're blowing it out of proportion because it's me. It's unfair, it's unjust, and I won't stand for it. But despite Jake Paul's attempts to brush off the allegations, the evidence against him continued to mount. Reports emerged detailing the specific PEDs found in Paul's system, further eroding his credibility and casting doubt on the legitimacy of his previous victories in the ring. He's denying everything, claiming innocence, and pointing fingers elsewhere. Typical. Never taken a steroid. I don't even know where to get steroids. I barely take supplements. Big lies, Jake Paul declared. And of course, he couldn't resist throwing some shade at his opponent, Mike Tyson. They're doing this to save Mike because I was going to hit him hard, Paul alleged. It's a transparent attempt to shift the blame and paint himself as the victim in all of this.
Like you were on your A game in the video. I mean, do you feel? Yeah.
I don't think he's faster than me.
Right. How hard are you training?
I train every day.
Okay. How many hours a day
Hey,
you
I
training?
take it serious. Listen. Well, listen, it's the whole day. The process goes through the whole day. I get up in the morning, do the road work. Then I go to the gym at 1. Then I go to the strength and conditioning guy. Then it starts all over again.
But let's be real here. Jake Paul's track record isn't exactly squeaky clean. He's made a name for himself by pushing the boundaries and bending the rules, so it's not exactly a stretch to imagine him resorting to PEDs to gain an edge in the ring. As the controversy reached a fever pitch, VADA stood by its findings, insisting that the results were accurate and incontrovertible. "We stand by our testing protocols and the integrity of our laboratory," a spokesperson for VADA stated firmly. The presence of PEDs in Jake Paul's system is undeniable, and it raises serious questions about the fairness of his previous fights. Despite the mounting evidence against him, Jake Paul remained defiant, refusing to acknowledge any wrongdoing and doubling down on his denials. "I don't give a damn what those so-called experts say. I worked my ass off to get where I am today, and nobody's going to take that away from me. These accusations are nothing but a pathetic attempt to bring me down, and I won't let it happen." As news of Jake Paul's positive drug test spread like wildfire, the fate of the fight hung in the balance, ultimately leading to its abrupt cancellation. For Mike Tyson, the news was a bitter pill to swallow. The legendary boxer had been gearing up for what promised to be an epic showdown in the ring, pouring his heart and soul into his training regimen in anticipation of the big day.
Mike Tyson is the reason why this desk is this width. Did I tell you that?
No, this is real?
Yeah. I had a smaller desk that I was planning on using for the new studio. When I'm like, maybe it'd be better if I'm a little closer to the people. But then I did a podcast with Tyson. I did 2 of them with Tyson. One, when he was high, when he's running Tyson's Ranch. He had a little bit of a belly. He was jolly. He was just high all the time. We had a wonderful conversation. And then next time he came in is when he's preparing for the Roy Jones fight.
Oh,
and
wow.
He was jacked. And he had these big-ass muscles in his forearms. And he made me so nervous. Like, he was so keyed up. You could tell. Like, he was ready to go.
Oh,
he was
wow.
ready to go. And I'm like, no. Fuck this small table. I need to have some distance.
But with the fight now off the table, Tyson found himself grappling with a potent mix of anger and disappointment. Mike Tyson's anger towards Jake Paul reached boiling point as the news of the fight cancellation sunk in. Tyson had poured everything into preparing for this bout, pushing himself to the limit in training and making sacrifices along the way. He had even gone so far as to abstain from smoking and sex, 2 indulgences he was known for, in order to be in peak condition for the fight. But now, all that hard work and dedication had been for nothing, and Tyson couldn't help but feel a sense of betrayal. He had put his heart and soul into preparing for this match, only to have it snatched away at the last minute because of Jake Paul's actions. "I was ready to kill him with my bare hands," Tyson fumed. "I had been training like a madman, pushing myself harder than I ever have before. And for what? So that punk Jake Paul could cheat his way to victory? It's not right, man. It's just not right." For Tyson, the cancellation of the fight was more than just a disappointment. It was also a devastating financial setback. With a guaranteed payday of a staggering $300 million on the line, Tyson had been counting on the fight to help alleviate his mounting debts and financial woes. Tyson's financial struggles were no secret. Despite his status as one of the greatest boxers of all time, Tyson had faced numerous setbacks over the years, including a string of legal troubles and failed business ventures. The prospect of earning $300 million from the fight had seemed like a lifeline, a chance for Tyson to finally get back on his feet and secure his financial future once and for all. But now, with the fight cancelled, Tyson found himself facing an uncertain future once again. I might not get to settle the score with Jake Paul in the ring, but mark my words, I'll find another way to make him pay, Tyson vowed. He may have dodged a bullet this time, but he hasn't heard the last of me. Not by a long shot. And Joe Rogan thinks Tyson should send a lawsuit against Jake Paul. He didn't hold back, labeling Paul as the biggest disgrace of boxing. On his popular podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan didn't mince words. I mean, come on guys, this is just ridiculous, he exclaimed. Jake Paul was already pushing the boundaries of what's acceptable in the sport. But this is a whole new level of disrespect to the sport of boxing. Rogan, known for his no-nonsense approach and passionate commentary, didn't shy away from expressing his disappointment. Boxing is a storied tradition, and then you have Jake Paul. It's disgraceful. The outspoken podcaster didn't stop there. For rods and steroids. I mean, rods? What the hell is that even supposed to be? Rogan quipped. This guy thinks he can just cheat his way to the top, injecting who knows what into his system and expect to get away with it. Not on my watch. In response to Jake Paul's claim that the substances found in his system were very less negligible, Joe Rogan said, "Are we supposed to believe that? Very less negligible? That's just a fancy way of saying I got caught, but it's no big deal. Let's get real here," he asserted. Whether it's a little or a lot, the fact remains that Jake Paul tested positive for banned substances. End of story.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Mike Tyson, yeah, he's 57, but he got access to
everything. And he's also doing this very unique kind of training with electrical muscular stimulation that I've talked to some people that do that. And it has massive benefits of rehabilitating injuries. And it also, for a lot of people, gives them significant gains.
So, what's next for Tyson?
My fight against Mike Tyson. Oh, man. Oh, man. Dude, the amount of people that think I'm fighting Mike Tyson made me think I'm fighting Mike Tyson. The tweets, yo, Logan Paul's going to get his ass kicked. I'm like, I don't understand. His name is on the poster. It says Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. And also,
Looks like the boxing world might be in for a wild ride if Logan Paul's claims are anything to go by. Logan Paul has been making some bold statements lately, boasting to anyone who will listen that he's the one who knocked out Mike Tyson in sparring, not his older brother Jake.
They consider this like that Godfather movie. When I think I'm out, they bring me back in. That's no they don't want me to be the nice father man, the family man that's, you know, he's here, he's present to his kids, track meets and tennis meets and all that stuff. They want to bring me back to debauchery and violence and So you feel.
Now, whether there's any truth to Logan's claims is up for debate, but you gotta give the guy credit for his confidence. I'm the one who knocked out Tyson in sparring, not Jake. So if Tyson's looking for a real challenge and saying Jake stabbed him in the back, he should be looking my way, Logan boldly proclaimed. And it's not just empty talk either. Word on the street is that Netflix even approached Logan about a potential fight with Tyson before they approached Jake.
Your brother actually today said that, is that true that he said on his podcast that he turned down the offer from Mike Tyson before you?
So, yeah, like that situation is always tough for me because I hate that my brother and I's relationship sometimes has to be like aired out.
Now, whether there's any truth to that rumor remains to be seen, but it's definitely got people talking. If Logan Paul does end up stepping into the ring with Mike Tyson, it's sure to be a showdown for the ages. With both fighters known for their larger-than-life personalities and willingness to push the boundaries, the hype surrounding the match would be off the charts. The possibility of a match between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather Jr. is also not ruled out.
We're going to come on record and say this. Out of all these guys in a history of boxing, I've accomplished more than every fighter in the history of boxing.
You mean as far as win, as far as undefeated, as far as belts, as far as prize money? I mean,
you tell me, and I'll tell you, and I'll say, and I'll tell you why. Tell me something, and I'll tell you why.
Well, the only guy that retired that was undefeated, that hadn't tasted defeat when he retired, was Rocky Marciano.
Okay,
so go ahead.
How many world champions have Rocky Marciano beat?
I would say probably Archie Moore, Joe Louis, maybe 3, 4. High end?
So we already know. I beat more champions that's going in the Hall of Fame than he beat in his career, period. So Ali, the same fighter that got beat by a fighter with 7 fights, Leon Spinks beat Muhammad Ali when he only had 7 fights.
Yes.
And if we really tell the truth,
well, that's what you're here for. You're here to tell the truth.
The heavyweight guy that Ali fought 3 times, Ken Norton, actually.
Ken
Norton really beat Ali all 3 times. Go back and look at the fights.
Mayweather's criticism of Tyson's decision to take on Jake Paul, a YouTuber turned boxer, instead of pursuing more traditional opponents, has only added fuel to the fire. When I heard Tyson was going for Jake Paul, I couldn't believe it, Mayweather remarked with a shake of his head. I mean, come on, Jake Paul. That's not a real fight, that's a sideshow. Tyson should be aiming higher, looking for real challenges, not wasting his time with gimmicks. And Mayweather didn't stop there. Upon seeing Tyson's training footage, Mayweather wasted no time in voicing his skepticism.
It's still the face of boxing without even competing. The reason why I'm the face of boxing is because of this. Every time boxing come on, you don't bring up Muhammad Ali name. You don't bring up Mike Tyson name. You always bring up Floyd Mayweather name because I'm still the face of boxing.
But what I don't understand, though, is that this...
Claiming that Tyson was just acting in those 10 seconds of footage. I saw Tyson's training footage, and let me tell you, it was laughable, Mayweather scoffed. He's just playing pretend, acting like he's still got it. But the truth is, he's past his prime, and he knows it. He's just trying to cling to the spotlight for as long as he can. But it's pathetic, really. But if there's one thing Tyson knows how to do, it's defy expectations.
Like, you know, Floyd's a great fighter, don't get me wrong. Yeah. You know, he had 50 fights and he says, listen, Sugar Ray Robinson had 47 fights. He lost 1, then he had 78 fights. Then he had a 78-fight winning streak.
Yeah, but you even
he had 47, lost 1, then 78 winning streak.
But even more
like
modern than that.
Knockouts.
Look at Julio Cesar Chavez. He was 84-0, right?
89, 90 and 0 before he lost.
89-0. Wow. So it's
Don't tell me about you, the greatest fighter with 50 and 0, nigga. You're great, no doubt about it, nigga. 50 and 0. Chavez had 90.
Yeah.
He's fighting like what, 8 times a year.
Yeah, it's more to it than
whoever
that.
fought him. Whoever's in the rankings.
Well, I think it's all subjective.
Picking whoever you are, come on.
I think there are more metrics and more measurements that have to be.
Whether he chooses to take on Jake Paul, Logan Paul, or even Floyd Mayweather himself, one thing's for sure. Tyson will stop at nothing to prove that he's still got what it takes to be a contender in the world of boxing. And a potential matchup between Mike Tyson and Tyson Fury is definitely one that would capture the imagination of boxing fans around the world. The history between the two Tysons adds an extra layer of fire. Tyson Fury's victory over Francis Ngannou, whom Mike Tyson had trained for the fight, was marred by controversy due to the judges' decision favoring Fury. Many speculated that the judges leaned towards Fury because Ngannou was not a professional boxer, sparking debates about fairness and impartiality in the sport. For Mike Tyson, a chance to settle the score with Tyson Fury would be a golden opportunity to right what he perceives as a wrong. However, Fury presents a formidable challenge due to his size, length, and skill set. Throughout his career, Tyson has always faced an uphill battle against opponents with physical advantages, and Fury would be no exception. The prospect of a fight between Mike Tyson and John Fury cannot be ignored as well. The chance encounter between the two heavyweight figures in Saudi Arabia while attending the Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury fight.
I knew you to call me a liar! I knew you were supposed to be the hardest man in the world! Let's get it on! Let's get it on! 2 6 bring her on!
And the new heavyweight champ of the world, Francis Ngannou.
In a revealing interview with FreeBets, John Fury shared details about his conversation with Mike Tyson, indicating a mutual interest in the idea of stepping into the ring together. I did say to him in the podcast, me and you should do something and fight, Fury disclosed. You know what he said? Yeah, I would love that. When he said that to me, that is the highlight of my life, Fury added, showing his excitement at the prospect.
Man of all men, a man what can't be equal.
Francis
my son,
I'm not saying
my son.
Ngannou. I said it right that time.
Ngannou couldn't beat me, Mike. Ngannou can't beat me, pal. and I'm useless.
Hey, what do you
But I'll tell you what happened, I've got a world
Maybe not you, but your son.
From bottle to bin.
Fury's willingness to face off against the former heavyweight champion is both admirable and surprising. Despite the significant age difference and contrasting backgrounds, Fury expressed his readiness to go toe-to-toe with Tyson, even stating that he would be content with whatever outcome the fight may bring. "I would be happy to die after the fight," Fury declared candidly. "If I can get in the ring, punch for punch, whatever he wants to do, if I get carried out or die on a stretcher, that is my life completed," Fury said. "We can just predict what's going to happen. Who do you want to see against Tyson in the ring? If not Jakey, let us know in the comments. And to all you boxing fans out there, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Ring the notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest in the world of boxing. Your support means the world to us, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep fighting.